What's going on, everybody? GemMint here. I'm back with another statue unboxing and review, and I finally pulled the trigger on the quarter scale Last Ronin statue by PCS. Not only did I splurge for this guy, but I went for the Supreme Edition. As you can see, the second box behind me, which displays his fallen brothers behind him. So if you guys have not read the Last Ronin and don't want to be spoiled, you might want to be careful with this video because I do disclose who the Last Ronin is, but at this point it's kind of like figuring out that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. No! So with that out the way, let's jump into the unboxing. Alright guys, box number one. So this one has two layers. Let's go ahead and remove the straps and then we'll take off the top layer to see what's inside. Alright, so it looks like we have some arms, we have some base pieces. There we go, 4 arms, some weapons, some pipes. Let's take a look at them close up. The pipes have a really good paint job. Look at that metallic, rusty paint job that it has. And these pipes will connect to each other onto the base. That's where the little handle will go, as we'll see later on. Right here, actually. So here is that little handle, and that'll go onto the pipes. Then we have some weapons. The wraps look really good. This is a destroyed katana, one of Leonardo's swords. See how well they did that wrap. And then we have a piece of a baton and another katana sword handle, which will go into his back. We have a sai, which is very heavy. It feels like they must be metallic. And then the nunchucks with the chain as well. So you have a nod to all 4 turtles. That'll be base elements there. And then we have a sheath with a bow staff that goes on Michelangelo's back. So you got that wood grain, you got the wrap, and really well done with the rope here. The rope looks realistic. Then we have a left arm switch out. So much great texture on this piece. Look at the leather padding, and then you go into the texture on the outfit, the gray part here, the straps, and an amazing paint job on the green skin. As we can see here as well, you got the muscle detail, the different shading of green, the weathering on the pads. And I love how the green goes into that yellow on the interior of the arm. The fingernails are so well done as well. And again, look at the texture and the folds in the sculpt of his shirt, the leather-like texture on the padding. And then you have him clutching this sai. It's such an awesome switch out, man. I love how he holds the sai this way. Again, the fingernails with the cracks in them, the brown to yellow. Amazing detail. And the last arm switch out, again, showing the muscle definition. Nice kind of like spackling with the paint job as well. Holding a katana. You can see the great detail in the wrap. And again, that long, heavy, metallic feeling sword. I'm not sure if it's metal. It definitely feels heavy like metal. And the interior of the arm looks great. Good length on this sword as well. All right, so that's the first layer. Let's remove that. And then we have the base as well as the Last Ronin body. So taking away all the paper and all the padding, you can see what we got going on. Let's start taking a look at some of these smaller pieces. There is a piece of translucent sludge, which will go from the sewer drain onto the base. More weapons here. Here's the other half of that baton. And then we have a bow staff that Michelangelo can hold. The wood grain looks amazing. The wrap looks great. Long weapon. And then we have a destroyed bow, which is supposed to go on the base as well, broken in half, symbolizing the death of Donatello. And then we have Michelangelo himself, the Last Ronin. There is so much going on in this piece. Look at the rope, look at the texturing of his outfit, look at those glasses that are around his neck. I love how the head is connected. It's not separate. There's no seam. You have a lot of movement in his outfit, and then all the weaponry. You have a sai on his belt, the nunchucks on the back, the kind of makeshift holster where we'll put the sheath and the bow on his back. Then he's got the knee pads, all the buckles and the straps. You can see the skin on his feet and his toenails. It looks amazing. So much going on the body, packed full of detail. Amazing. Here's the bottom of the base, number 268 out of 1,000 for the Supreme Edition. The base is super heavy. Let's get it on the table here so we can get a good look at it. The entire bottom is sitting on a translucent piece of sewage water going to the bottom of the sewers. Then you have the brick wall in the back. Great detail and texture. The large pipe that connects those 2 brick walls. Just amazing. All right, so let's start with the assembly. We're gonna put that pipe on the side of the brick wall first, then swing it around to the back. The pipe goes into the sewage, into the wall, and then connecting to the other pipe. That piece of sludge will bridge the gap from that sewage drain to the bottom. Then we'll key in Mikey. He's got a peg on his right foot and then a notch on his left, the sheath and bow staff on his back. And then we'll put the handle so it looks like the sword is on his back. Then we'll mess around with some hand switch outs. So this is an empty hand. I put the sai in there, but it's really supposed to be for the bow, which you'll see later. And then the other sai switch out for his right hand. That's a cool look. Let's go ahead and get that handle there on the pipe. And we'll put those weapons on the front of the base to honor his fallen brothers. All right, with that, let's go ahead and put the bow in his left hand instead of the sai, so that just slides in and just holds well like that. Then we could switch out the right arm, put the katana in his arm, and then play with that other left hand switch out, which he has that baton. All right, guys, so before we add the Supreme piece to the back, let's take a good look at the Last Ronin piece in full. What an amazing statue. I initially thought this was Supreme Edition or bust, but you can definitely pose this guy on his own without his brothers behind him. I think he looks amazing. Quarter scale piece, and there's just so much detail in every aspect of this piece, from the base to Michelangelo himself to the weapons. Beautiful. Let's go to that second box, which only has one layer, removing the straps. Let's go ahead and remove the top. And this is the Supreme Edition box, essentially. You have what you can see, the spirits of his fallen brothers. Wow, what a powerful piece. So you have their bandanas. They're all the same color because these are really like spirits. They all have that same green paint job to them. Those are marked so you know which brother they go on. Then you have a big like whoosh type of piece that goes on one of the brothers to just kind of give you that wisp. Then you have their hands. The detail is still there. It's just that the color is all solid. You can see the kind of spackle on the elbow pad there. You can see the veins on the top of the hand. Here's the other two hands. So 3 hands total, all kind of putting their hands onto Michelangelo, guiding him, if you will. If you read the book, they guide him whether he likes it or not. The wraps look great. The color is great. And then you have this huge piece with the 3 brothers, way too heavy to be kind of holding and showing you under the camera. So we'll take a better look at these during the assembly. Now they have a nice base to them with pads, so they just kind of slide in and notch into the back of the base. You may have noticed it while it was spinning around. There's a little slot where this will lock into, essentially. Let's go ahead and get their arms there. Now it's kind of easier to put their arms on before you attach them to Michelangelo, because they kind of rest up on him, so it could be a little difficult to put them on while the Last Ronin piece is already assembled. But I kind of moved them back a little bit. You might even see here during the assembly. So that's the first hand, and then we'll put the second hand over his left shoulder. See, I kind of just lifted them back a little bit there. All right, and then we'll go ahead and do that last arm, the right arm going over his right shoulder. We'll put the bandanas in. So they say A, B, and C to correspond with each turtle. Easy enough. And finally, we'll do that little wisp piece, which goes in right here. This video is brought to you by THATSPIDERMANBOOTH.com. That Spider-Man Booth is now doing subscription boxes, and they have some great exclusives for the month of December. They got a Ninja Funk Issue 2 Secret Christmas cover. It's an Alex Cormack exclusive with concept art by JPG himself and Molly Wood. They did 250 regulars, 100 foils, and there's a 1 out of 1 medal. Cover has not been revealed yet. Also, we'll include an Alpha Betas one, same cover artist, Alex Cormack, who has that Rick and Morty style. Another concept by JPG McFly, which they made 600 regulars, 100 foils, and another 1 out of 1 medal. Make sure to visit ThatSpiderManBooth.com and subscribe to their subscription box. Guys, what a gorgeous piece. And I've seen this piece in person before at Sideshow Con. I actually took a bunch of pictures that were used by PCS. They shared them on their Instagram, so I knew this piece was gorgeous, but I think the reason why it took me so long to pick this up was the price, man. It's kind of breaking my rule that I don't really like to spend more than $1,500 on a piece, especially a quarter scale piece. But I talked myself into it the other day, and you can see why it goes for the price that it does when you get all of this. It's essentially a 4-character diorama quarter scale. Even though the turtles aren't full body, it's like 3/4 of their body each. Now, the price was especially jarring because the collector's edition that comes with just Michelangelo, just the Last Ronin, retails $880, and they only made 500 of them. So that's actually a pretty good price. Now, the dimensions on him without the brothers in the back, his bow staff's going to be his tallest point, which is about 22 inches tall. And really, if you think about it, you could remove that, not even display it, and then he only stands about 18, almost 18.5 inches. Now the depth without his brothers is about 13 inches, and then you have the width, which is about 13.5 inches, again, with just Michelangelo. Now, when you get to the Supreme Edition, it doubles in price, man, $1,605, and I think that's where I was like, all right, not only is it way more than I like to spend on one piece, it's double just to get this exclusive or Supreme piece in the back. They made 1,000 of this version, like I mentioned, and the tallest point is gonna be in the back here, making it about 24.5 inches tall. The width is going to get extended to about 17.5 inches, and then the depth is about 17.5 inches as well. But like I said, I talked myself into it. I said, you know what, you have a quarter scale TMNT line, even though it's more animated series, this could potentially pair with those, maybe off to the side a little bit. And I don't know, I just talked myself into it, and man, am I glad that I did. This piece is incredible. You know, again, you could display it by himself. It doesn't necessarily need the back, but the back just hits so hard. If you guys haven't already, I did a review of this story, first of all, as it was coming out in single issues, and then I recently reviewed the hardcover edition, so you can go check that out if you want to see what the story was all about. But I think this is an incredible piece. I love how it has a sub base of translucent resin, that dark green sewer sludge. Moving up to the sewers, you have like the tiled brick floor. There's a little grate there. It's got like oxidization or rust in between the grout, going to the broken rubble, to the bricks behind it, which makes up the walls. And then you have all the sewer elements, the small pipe with the little handle, the larger pipe that kind of connects those two brick walls. And you saw how much detail was packed into Michelangelo, just like from the comics. He's riddled with the weapons of his deceased brothers, and then he's got this kind of makeshift ninja outfit which covers him head to toe. You can only see his hands, feet, and his face. You can't even see the turtle shell. That's kind of one of the things I noticed when I was looking at the back here, because you can see the shell of his brothers, but you don't even see Michelangelo's shell. And then again, the brothers, a big, massive piece, which is essentially just one big solid piece. The only switch outs were the bandanas, their arms, and this little like kind of wispy piece to kind of give you that illusion that it's mist or spirit like. Both versions are still available on Sideshow.com. That's the only place you can get PCS pieces. And understandably, it's an expensive piece, but man, you do get so much bang for your buck. It's a huge quarter scale diorama. Super happy that I decided to pull the trigger on this guy. Let me know what you think about the Last Ronin statue in the comments down below. I'm going to leave you with the entire diorama spinning on the turntable. Y'all stay minty fresh. Peace.